Hi everybody, Giselle Grenier here from ArtPlace.ca. Well, it's another hot one today, so got the AC on in the other room. Mia's sleeping, Chaos is sleeping, and we're gonna hope it stays that way. Joe's in the basement working, so I thought what I would do is continue on with doing another background for the Book of Background series. In this one here, I actually did a little bit of planning, and you'll see why as I go along. So what I've got is I've got some basic colors. So I've got ultramarine blue, green gold, titanium white, Hansa yellow medium, and then a metallic silver. These are the DecoArt Media Fluid acrylics. I also have some decoupage medium. It's the napkin one. Okay, because napkins are delicate, so I have the napkin one. And this is what sparked what I wanted to do. I ran out of the regular napkins that I have downstairs for our dining room table, and I thought, oh, I know I have some in the studio, so I'd come up here and grab some. And then I forgot I had these, so this inspired this piece. And I'll talk a bit more about that in a second. Excuse me. And I have, okay, so I have a large wash brush, I have a flat brush, I have 2 stencil brushes, and my number 8 Bristle Bright. So these brushes, you really can use any brush, it's just more for large coverage. And this one here, which is my grungy brush, that's going to be for the decoupage medium. There. And then for the paper, I'm using the Strathmore Wind Power Mixed Media Vellum Surface Paper. It's the 400 series in 11 by 14. And for this particular one, there's a reason why I chose 11 by 14. Just going to take a piece off because I'm going to fold it. And oh, I don't have any room for my paper. Put that over there. That was kind of whiny, I'm sorry. So what I'm going to do is, the standard size of my book of backgrounds is 8.5 by 11. So we'll just say it's that size. I do have some small pieces, and I want to have some larger pages, but I really don't want them to extend more than 8.5 by 11. They can go wider, but I don't want them to go higher, because then when the book stands up, you can't just have, if you have one sheet that's taller, the sheet's going to bend. Wider is a different story though. So for this one here, I'm actually going to fold it. And in order to fold it, I've got my scoreboard here, and you don't have to have a fancy scoreboard. I make a lot of my own greeting cards where I do small pet portraits, and I will put a print of the pet portrait that I've done, and I'll put it inside the actual card, especially if it's a gift, or if it's a memorial, then that's the same thing. So that's what I use the scoreboard for. So for this particular one, I'm going to score this at, let's see, if I want to, it's 11 high. Oh, and I think I made a mistake. I think I said I didn't want it higher than 8.5. The book, it's 11 inches high. The width can be anything. So I'm going to make this 8.5. Let's score it right down here. And if you don't have a scoreboard, which is totally fine, just measure. Make at least 3 measurements. You know, measure 55,000 times, score and cut once. Make a few measurements as wide as you want it. Okay, and then what you could do is take a ruler. Take a ruler. Oh, take a ruler, and then you can fold it. You can also sometimes just run something like a palette knife or a dinner knife, because they're dull, or a butter knife, because they're dull. You can do that. And take a ruler. That'll help you get the nice fold. Okay, and then you're going to burnish it. And burnishing just simply means to flatten it down. And you can use really anything except for scissors. I did that first year and I actually stabbed myself. So that was, makes it so much easier for me anyways. Then I'll put that aside. Okay, so my idea for this was to somehow incorporate the flowers, but what I want to do is make mention that this is a 3-ply napkin. Okay, you'll have to trust me on it. It's a 3-ply napkin. And what I'm going to do is actually cut out the flowers. So some fussy cutting, cut out the flowers. And then what you're going to get out of this is 12 flowers. You're going to get 4 from the prints, and then 4 on this one and 4 on this piece that doesn't want to come off. And what I'm looking at doing is actually either putting it in here, which will strengthen the page because this is the binding side, or doing something over here. I also have a stencil that spoke out to me. So I want to use this here, and I was thinking of either doing that if I had the flowers here. So let's just pretend this. So this one is taking a little bit of planning. Normally I don't plan as much as this. So if I've got the flowers there, then you can have the dandelions, and then on top of the flowers I can stencil some of that on, or put the flowers on this side, and then the would be like this. I'm not quite sure. I'm thinking I want to put the collage material on the inside. So you can take any napkin and do that. And then I found this one too, and I haven't used this one yet, and I thought that'd be kind of cool if I put that here, and you can actually put some writing in there. So I may use that too. Let's put that aside. And because I'm doing some collage, and this is just a background, okay, so if you don't like it, you can just cover it up. I'm thinking now that I may have wanted to, see, this would work too. Shoot. Now I'm not sure which way I like it. So if the book opens, so if the book is like this, do I want it like this? Or do I want the binding, this part here, to be on the inside? Let's stick with the plan. Okay, so I'm going to cut all these out. I'm not going to do that on camera because it's absolutely boring, but all I'm going to do is basically just come in and just cut around the flowers. Okay, so I'll come back when that's done, and then we will, oh, before you do anything else, if you're using really thin paper and you're going to do a fold like this, gesso it first and give it a good amount of time to dry. If you're gessoing paper and we're going to do collage on top of that, the gesso has to be dry, okay, in order for the collage material to really stick well onto it, especially if we're going to be putting it on a binding side. All right, so I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, I'm pretty well done. Chaos decided to pay me a visit. And she got into the pieces. I tore some of the bottom pieces to see what they would look like. So I've got this stuff here. And I've got all then because they're 3-ply, so I've got all this extra stuff here. And these here I'm not going to use. Mind you, they might look nice if you painted them green and then just laid that on top. That actually might be a nice idea. I'll do it with one. Oh, come on. So let me do that first. Now, what I'm also doing is I'm actually creating this. My no stick mat is underneath. And what I'm doing is I actually put, I got a delivery and I got this paper, and I love working on this paper. I'm going to be actually doing all the painting now for the next few projects on this paper, because this will end up being a base for the book cover. Okay, so that's why I have the paper. So I'm going to put these aside. I've got a big glass of water here as well. And let's get, we'll do that. And I'm going to take, I lied, so I brought out some sap green, and that I'm going to actually put on the palette paper. A little bit of sap green. This is going to make a shadow color, and a little bit of green gold. not a lot. And I'm going to go to another brush, and I'm thinking that's going to need to be something a little bit finer. I'm going to take my round brush for this, and I'm just going to work the edges. And this stuff here, you don't want to rub it too much, because then it'll fray. You can use spray for this, which will work out nicely. I'm going to take a little bit of the sap green, and I'm just going to work that in there because now it's wet on wet. And I can hear Mia already going woof woof. Just rough. And this will need a little bit of time to dry. I'm not 100% sure where I'm going to be, how I'm going to be laying the flour on top of this. So now you know why I had the no stick mat underneath. There we go. I'm going to take this, I'm going to grab a paper towel. I'm going to take that, and then I'm going to put it right on top of the paper towel, and I'll let it sit to dry. It's so hot in here, it won't take long. Chaos is eyeballing me. Unless you're a pet owner, you have no idea how hard it can be creating art with pets. So that's... Oh, it tore a little bit. Oh well. Too bad, so sad. And let's see. I'm going to put that there. My idea... So this is going to take, this will take a little bit of planning, so if you want to fast forward through this and skip over it, that's fine, go ahead. This I have to plan out. I'm thinking that. I just want to bring out enough. Just going to trim that out so it doesn't have a hard edge. Just want to get a little bit of space in here. Want some of the background showing through. The other thing I'm not a fan of is this torn parts. So let's that'll work. There we are, like that. So I know what's going to happen now. So I'm going to get this way out of the way. And I'm going to collage this down first. And let's see. I changed my mind. But I don't want to lose this. See, that's the beauty of when you're doing stuff like this, is that there are no steadfast rules on doing that. I want to paint a landscape scene on here. Now don't get excited. I'm not going to spend 3 hours doing a landscape painting. Oh, you're so lucky. So I'm going to take the green gold and I'm just going to put the green gold everywhere. and using these wide X strokes. Going here, going there. Some parts will be light, some parts will be dark. Okay, then once I have something in here, I'll use the tip of the brush. This is just an oval brush, which I love using for large coverage. And I'm going to take some water and just put water up here. And that'll bring some of the color up on top. And once that's done, we are ultramarine blue. Quickly. Ultramarine blue. Speck of white. I'm just going to rinse the brush. Pick up the blue. A little bit of white. And start this way. And I'm going to work over that crease, which will cause you some frustration. It's going to happen. Just work through it. You may be tempted to run your brush down like that. Don't. And this is on unprimed paper, don't forget. So the paper is really absorbing a lot of the moisture. And why did I use unprimed paper? Because I want to see what would happen. A bit more water. Why am I not using extender? Because I want to see what would happen. Just go with the flow. Any more white? And you can put on as many layers as you want. And basically what I'm going for is a sky that is going to be rough. It's not going to be a perfect gradation because I don't like those kind of skies. And we're going to blend that down into the green. And then bring some of the green up on top. As the sky gets closer to the horizon, I'm going to lighten it up a bit. And I'm also going to touch it into, which I don't have handy. Nope, I'm not going to use that because that'll ruin it. Oh, I'll just pick up a little bit of the sap green. I just want to gray it down a little bit. Lighter and grayer. Now this is really cool. Bit of sap green. So ultramarine blue, white, and sap green. And then come in here. And I'm just going to create that line there. And just feather that out. Like so. Like so. Don't forget, this is just a background. I can even cut into that. And if you want to have some clouds, just pick up some white, which has some green in it, and just kind of fluff those in there. We have green clouds. Oh my God. This is a background. It's a background. It's just a background. This is probably going to be uncovered. There we go. There we go. Fast, 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 fast. Dry, 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 dry. Dry, dry, dry. I'm going to hit this with the heat gun, even though I shouldn't be. I shouldn't. Just on this side. Because it's so hot. I kind of feel I'm working against the air conditioner. So I could put this one here. Now where's that? Where's that one? That's with the heavy edge. It goes down here. And I want that torn piece to show through. That. Up. And sideways. Bring this up a little bit. Go. Yay. This one goes down first, then this one, then this one. So these two are going to come up. Oh. Oh, rinse, brush, brush, rinse, rinse, rinse. And I'm just going to put the decoupage medium right on the paper. This will also create a nice barrier. And guess what? I forgot where this was. So that's, I think it was on top of the blue. Wrinkles I don't care about. They're not going to bother me. Ah! Now this, once I put this down, it is not going to come up. So I have to make sure I plan that right. And the nice thing about the tissue medium goes right through the tissue. Already dry. It's already dry. That one's up. Oh, I don't think you can see. And I think it was, this one was here. Which one was on first? I don't remember. Oh, the tear, the little tear actually got all fixed up. I was hoping it would show. Okay. There we go. You can use any tissue for this. You know, a great place to find the tissues are, I mean, you can go to Michael's and places like that, but if you want to practice, just go to the dollar store and just get stuff to practice with. That's right there. I wanted to get that fixed in there so it wouldn't move. And when I brush that out, I'm going to brush it from the center outwards. And I'm going to take a credit card and very lightly burnish that. Be very careful when you do this. What is this? Oh, my nutrition house card. This one's got a wrinkle, which I don't mind. I tore the paper up there. And I need the no stick mat now. I need the no stick mat now. And I'm going to bring that right over. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. That is completely up to you. And put some more here. Remember, this is a background, not a finished piece of artwork, so no fiddling. Make that nice and thick there. I'll incorporate that into the design of this background, the back page. And I've got on top of this desk where the camera mount is, I will just hang this to dry. Making sure that I've got a good amount of decoupage medium on there. And what this also does is it makes it transparent so you can see the underlying color through there. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, jeepers creepers, that's gorgeous. All right, brushing the water. So I'm going to hang this up, and this will take, I'm thinking that's going to take probably about 20 minutes to dry. And then we come back, then we'll start some stenciling. So back in a bit. Okay, it's dry enough for us to use now. It's been about 20 minutes. And what I did off camera, I just used up the rest of the green paint. And I just covered the back. And was more for this side. Okay, so now I have to, this takes a little bit of planning. My idea is to have this stenciled here and also here, so when it opens up, it's a natural flow. So my idea is if I stencil it here, I have to find out where this ends, because what I'm thinking is I want to also do something on here. The other thing I was thinking is if I stencil this like this, including the little flyaways, and that I would basically stencil that here too, so there'll be two of them. That may be what I end up doing, just because it'll be a little bit easier on time. And reminding myself that this is just a background. Sometimes I get stuck on that and thinking, oh no, I want to do this, and oh no, I want to do that, and it is just a background. So I'm just going to rinse those brushes, and I'm just putting them on the paper towel here. I've got an extra water bucket with clean water. So I'm putting out some white and some metallic. I don't think I shook that enough. There we go. And I'm going to take the large. I'm lining that out to the top. This is the dandelion stencil. And I'm going to use white. And I'm just going to stencil a light coat of white on that. I should have used translucent white. That would have let some of the green show through. And over the little head of it, I'm not going to put everything in white, because on the other parts I'm going to do silver, which, depending on how the light catches it, will have a really pretty shimmer to it. And this pouncing is probably very loud on the camera. I've got the microphone hooked up to the back of the desk, so hopefully this isn't too loud. Do I want these over the flowers? Sure, why not? Let's see what happens. And the little flyaways, they're going to be only done in silver. Take that brush, put that aside, and I'm going to go, oops, need another brush. And I'm just going to use another stencil brush. Going to go over the silver. And now I'm just going to go over the rest of the area. And if you don't like what you've done, like I've said many times, is that you can just paint over it, because it is just a background, but I would say leave it, because there will be some videos that I show in phase 2, which is the Doug portion, where we actually create the art on the backgrounds, where I will show you how to upcycle your art that you don't like. And if I've run out of backgrounds, I may just take something that I've done as a background and don't like and just repurpose it to another background. Never throw anything away unless there's absolutely no hope. Okay, my hand's getting tired. I'm gonna find some spots that I missed. Oh. And I'm just gonna go over those. Oops, I forgot to, I didn't wipe off the excess on the paper. Oh well. I'm not sure how much this will show through. And I'm going to hold that down, lift it up. I need more white. And I'm not even going to worry about that drying. There's way too much silver. That's better. Now I'm going to put this one in the back, so I'm going to put this as white here. So this will be on top. And there we go. I actually like it with the silver on the bottom and the white on top. It looks really cool. Huh. It looks almost 3D. I'm going to keep going. You can stop at any time. I really like that. And of course I'm running out of paint. That's wicked. Huh. That turned out much nicer than I thought it would. Cool. Okay, I need more white. And now I'm going to put a little bit of yellow. And I'm going to hit this with the heat gun for a sec. I'm going to put that back over. And I may not get it exact. Where are we? Here, here, and I think here. I'm gonna go with the small brush now. And I'm going to hit the tiny little ones just to strengthen them. You don't have to do this. And what's nice is in the big ones, you just do the middle. Again, you don't have to. Basically do what you want. It's your background. But this is just a really fun little way to put a little bit of a landscape design in the back. Something as a base. Nice little fun thing to do. And there's some parts here, I think where the paper was curled, that don't see a heck of a lot of the stars. Because the paper's curled. Sometimes the big brushes are just too big to get inside the little crevices. And then what I'm going to do now is I could use the same, no, I'm going to get a different brush. And I'm going to go with some yellow, and in the yellow I'm just going to just do a quick little dry brush over the stem. I don't want to cover the whole thing. I got a little bit too much yellow in there, so I'll pick up the brush that had the white and we'll just go back over. There we go. And anything where I see something that's missing, I'm going to get it right now, because if I forget, then I'm going to have to reline everything up. What I like about using the silver first is that when the white sits on top, the silver kind of just shines behind, which is kind of cute. See, it looks like they're just falling down onto the flowers. And then now I can take this, when that's dry, I can then line this one up, which is what I'm going to do. When I dry this again, this stencil's going to have to soak. And I'm going to line this up, which is probably, oh, okay, that was actually pretty easy. Those heavy dots I did in the middle helped. So line that up. I'm going to stencil that on there now so it looks seamless when it opens up. And with that, I'm just going to go with my number 8 Bristle Bright, because I never do a design without it. Let's get that started and let's see what it looks like. Yeah, that's really pretty. So this one here, I'm going to do them all white first, then I'm going to do silver. So that's going to be the experiment for this one. A 2-tier design with one layer with the silver on the bottom and the white on top, and then the top layer white on the bottom and then silver on top. The opposite. Thinking of the logic that this front flap is closer to us, so it would be brighter, where the one underneath is behind, so it's in shadow. And the paper is curled, so this stencil is not laying flat. So that's going to be a challenge. A challenge that doesn't look too bad. And just lightly brushing that on. I love this brush for stenciling. There we go. Okay, so let's see what happens now with the metallic on top. Yes, I should let it dry. It's actually not bad. The key is only hitting it once. Yeah, that's really pretty. These backgrounds are just a jump off point for you to either replicate or take something from it and put your own spin on it. You don't have to do it exactly how I'm doing it. I like that. I am missing. Take some white and I'm going to go right to the edge. Need to fuse those together a little bit more so they look more natural. It's right on that fold of the paper. That's where nothing's coming up. What I don't want is I don't want a hard line to show. I want it to be seamless. Make that a little bit stronger. We're almost done. And this may be a little bit more work for a background than you might want to do. So you just play with it and do as much as you want. Okay, so I'm thinking that, and it opens up to that. So actually, that's pretty good. So this still looks like it's one piece, except these are a little bit darker. So what I think I'm going to do is just lighten them just a smidgen. Just a smidgen. Because it's very hard to match everything again. There we go. So it goes from that to that. And I could hit this with a heat gun. I'm thinking on the back flap, I think that back flap I might reserve for another video. I was thinking if I flip this over, actually that sounds like a really good idea. I'm not going to do this one, I'm just going to do these little ones. Or I can do it like this where it goes right off. I was thinking but changed my mind. Like I said, don't like it, can always cover it up. One thing is that when you have stencils, the pattern seems to be the same because it replicates. So just by shifting the pattern, shift the background, and you can really get some ideas. So use whatever stencil you have. Like this is a dandelion stencil. Use whatever stencil you have. You do not have to use the exact same one that I am. Just do some of these little flyaways. These things, they make me sneeze. Oh, darn, it didn't go through. They make me sneeze. We got a picture of Mia in a whole field of dandelions. Oh, she was so pretty. I may make this piece about her. I'm not sure yet. Here we are. So all over the place. I'm gonna put a few in here. You can even have them overlapping. We don't have any in here, so we can do that as well. Just creates a lot of interest, but it's so subtle. put some bigger ones here, right on top of the flowers. I wasn't going to do anything on the flowers, but I think it needs it just to balance it out. Again, you don't have to. You can do whatever you want. This is just to give you some ideas. Yeah. And I'll just do a couple here. I don't want to use the same one as what I did in the corner. Okay, I don't want to use the same one, so I'm just going to do something a little bit different. I may not have enough paint. Yeah, I'm fine. Ta-da! Put that, oops, put that in the water, put that in the water, put that in the water. There we are. Let me just hit it with the heat gun for a sec. Now this is a bit of a longer video. It's just a lot more work in this one. There we are. So it starts off like that. Then we open it up to that. And then we can either paint something here. What would be nice is like a portrait of an animal or something here, or just facing this way. You can put a portrait of your animal here, put a story, the adoption story in there, anything. Okay, then you can also incorporate, so when the book of backgrounds, when this is finally bound in, so you have this way, then when you're going to flip it over, you'll have this, but then you could also incorporate this into it as well. You can have it this way instead. So it'll look like that. So it'll fold over. And then because this is going off the edge, you can either re-stencil or you can put some type of border on here so it actually finishes the edge. Either way, it doesn't matter. The whole thing works really well because I painted that background, that really rough green, but that's really pretty. I love that. That turned out really, really well. And it's still a little bit tacky, so after about a day, if you were doing this as your last background with the collage like this, and it was your very last background, you're ready for binding, let this sit for a day before you do your binding. That's ready to go. So there we are. So no varnishing, no nothing needed, okay, because this is just the background. And in phase 2, once all the backgrounds are done in the book of backgrounds, then I start creating the artwork. So I would love to see your take on this, what stencil you use, what collage material you use. I would love to see what your ideas were on taking collage material on a side and then using a stencil multiple times to create your pattern, how you worked the fold in there. Did you use the fold on this side? Did you use the fold on this side? What type of background did you paint? I would love to see what you've done. Please feel free to share it with me, or better yet, join the private Facebook group and share your photos there. We love to feed off each other's ideas and inspiration, and it's a great group of gals over there, and gentlemen. One gentleman, a few gals. Right? So I hope that you enjoyed this. It is a longer video. I apologize, and I will see you in the next lesson. And until then, stay inspired.